Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is the start of another reading vlog. This is a reading vlog and it's also a travel vlog. So I am in Longmont and Boulder, Colorado this week. We're staying in Longmont, but we're doing a lot of things in Boulder as well. And Boulder, Colorado is about an hour outside of Denver, and I have family from Colorado. My dad is originally from Colorado and his family, so we come here every summer and have a little family reunion with his side of the family, and we do all sorts of really fun stuff. And I have a vlog from last year, and I filmed a little bit in Colorado last year. I will link that video up in the cards, but definitely go check that out. I had a gorgeous view from my hotel room last year because we were in Colorado Springs. This time I don't have as pretty of a view. Like I can still see, I'll try to show you, I can see some of the mountain caps, like snow caps of the mountains over some buildings, but last year when I was in Colorado Springs, like I could see Pikes Peak so clearly. It was wonderful. But anyways, it is 9 in the morning. My body is still on Eastern time, so I still think it's 11 a.m. So I am up and ready to go. I have a San Pellegrino that I got at Target yesterday. These are clementine and peach, and they are so good. I love sparkling water. So the plan today is like very chill. A lot of our family comes in tomorrow. We got here about 2 days early, so we are just going to tool around. I have a bookstore that I want to go visit, and we are going to talk real quick about the books that I'm reading this week. Let me go get them. Okay, so this week I plan on reading 3 Book of the Month books. So I am participating in Ketchupathon, which is, I've just been calling it the Build Your Own Sunday Readathon, and it's hosted by Krista from Books and Jams, and she has a co-host as well, and I will link their channels, of course. But this is just a way to catch up on your Book of the Month books, and the prompts help you like build a Sunday as you go, which I thought was super fun. And I actually don't have a lot of extra Book of the Months lying around. These are the only 3 unread Book of the Months that I own, and these are both recent, and then this one's a little bit older. So yeah, I do a good job at catching up on my Book of the Months, but I have Dark Corners by Megan Golden. This is a new release. This was the July pick that I picked this month, and this is like a continuation of The Night Swim. It's another season of that podcast that they talk about in The Night Swim, but I've been told that you don't have to read The Night Swim first in order to read this, so if you haven't read The Night Swim and you want to try this out, go for it. And then I have She Started It by Sean Gilbert. I am listening to the audiobook of this, and the narrator said the author's name, and it's Sean. And so this, I'm pretty sure it's a debut, but it's interesting. But I have it on Scribd as well. So this morning while I was getting ready, I listened to some of it, and it's basically, you have these 4 girls who bullied this other girl in high school, and now they are all invited to her bachelorette party in the Bahamas. So so far, exactly what you'd expect to happen has happened. I imagine that this will be exactly what I expect. And then I also have The Great Pretender by Susanna Cahalan. I don't know how to say her last name, but this is kind of a more nonfiction, like psychology book. It says, in 1973, a charismatic doctor convinced 8 healthy people to commit themselves to mental hospitals. They had to prove their sanity to be set free. Their undercover mission would change our understanding of madness forever. And this is from November of 2019, but I actually had my friend Elizabeth send this to me. She was unhauling it, and I said I was interested, and she's like, well, I'll just send it to you. So there's a lot about psychiatry and kind of how psychiatry was developed, and mental health and asylums in America. And if you didn't know, those are all great buzzwords for me. And I have attempted to read this. I made it to page 17 and then I put it down, but I did enjoy what I read. So I am going to start over from scratch this week. So those are the 3 books that I plan on reading over the next week and a half to 2 weeks that Ketchupathon is going on. That's what I have going on. Like I said, I've already been listening to She Started It, and that's all I can think of. Let me show you the view from my window real quick. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, but you can see like kind of the tops of the mountains with snow caps. So that is all that I get to see, unfortunately, from my hotel room, but it's better than nothing. And we'll be driving over there and looking at them so much more over the next couple days, so. I've been in your waters, been knocking at your door. It is Monday morning. So yesterday, I don't know how much clips I actually got yesterday, but we did a lot of driving around, seeing the sights, looking at historic buildings, and we scoped out some parks for the little guys, and we had a really good diner-ish breakfast brunch, and then a really good dinner at a brewery. Going to another brewery tonight. There's a lot of breweries in Longmont, and so that's what's going on the vacation side. I have a couple more minutes and then I have to go and pick up one of my uncles and aunts from the airport, but I have finished. She started it. I was going to give an update, but I didn't really have any more of an update than I did when I talked about this the first time. But I finished this book. It was pretty short, pretty quick. I read it in less than 24 hours. I'm giving it 2 stars. So this is exactly what you would expect. These 4 girls bullied this girl in high school, and now it's 10 years later, and she's invited them all to her bachelorette party on this abandoned island in the Bahamas. And of course they go because it's a free vacation and they're all, you know, like materialistic and rich and stuff. And everything, absolutely everything that you would expect to happen happened. I guessed the twist like way early, and the ending was pretty quick, and I don't like that when it's like a quick like villain monologue at the end. So yeah, this one's a no for me, but I did finish it, and I'll have to look back at my notes to remember which prompt this is for. I think this one's for maybe my go-to genre or something. I don't know. I'll have to remember which what piece of my sundae this is. So I think this evening, I don't know if I should start on The Great Pretender to give myself like a break from thrillers, or if I should just jump straight into Dark Corners by Megan Golden. Maybe I should just jump right into that because I know I like her thrillers, and I know they're like more intricate and like harder to figure out and not like so basic like this. So maybe I'll start that one to like redeem my thriller reading for this week. I will let you know which I decide. So this vlog has taken a turn. So I am back from Colorado now, and I am very sick. I started feeling sick probably Thursday. We went to Estes Park, and I like could not cool myself down. I was just so overheated. But I was like, well, I'm in Colorado in July, and we're walking around Estes Park. So I just kind of chalked it up to that. And I was kind of sore, like achy muscles, but I again thought that was just being away from my bed and my pillow, and so all the things. But then I ended up getting pretty sick Thursday night and traveling back pretty sick yesterday. But so today I basically just slept. I haven't done any reading since, well, I read on the plane yesterday, but I haven't done any reading today. But I wanted to open my Wink box with you to add something to this vlog. So I am not sponsored by Wink. They don't know that I'm talking about this. I am just a regular customer, but Wink is a subscription box for wine. And I ordered this a while ago, and I don't even remember what I ordered. So you're going to find out with me. All right, so it comes really well packaged. I've never had an issue. Oh, I only got 4. This box holds 6, but I only got 4. All right, so Chop Shop Cabernet Sauvignon. This one came recommended to me. Cabernet Sauvignon is my favorite type of red wine. Ooh, Folly of the Beast Pinot Noir. This is my favorite that I've had from Wink so far. And this is the Poet, Lost Poet. This is heavy. It says, "Come on, darling, it's never too late to begin our love again. XO Atticus." So this is just says 2010 red wine. So is this just a blend? But I've never had this one, but I love the packaging. I love how minimalistic that sticker is. And then last we have Broad and Pattison. This is also a Cabernet Sauvignon. Like I said, out of these, the one that I have tried is Folly of the Beast, and I loved it, so I wanted to get it again. So I'll link my referral link below. Like I said, this isn't sponsored, they don't know me, but I believe if you use my link, you get like some money off of your first order. So, oh, update on my book. I made it to page 60, and I'm enjoying it so far. Dark Corners by Megan Golden. So far what I know is there was a crime and she's trying to solve it. Oh, the Sick Chronicles. Basically all we know is that her name came up in an FBI investigation with this guy who's in prison. And this guy in prison, his name came up and related to the disappearance of a female camper on a campground. So they called Rachel, the podcaster, in to like answer some questions and stuff. I think that's all for now. Oh, this vlog. It's one way or the other. No way in between. I ain't getting any younger. You will stay forever a dream. You were truly beloved, but it was over so fast. Just one thing to discover. Oh no, it was never meant to last. So it has been a couple days since I've updated this vlog because the last night in Colorado I got violently ill and had to travel back on Friday, pretty darn sick, and then spent basically all day Saturday and Sunday in bed. And I've been working from home the past couple days to kind of recover. I'm almost back to normal, but not totally. I got some weird bug, but yeah, it was bad. And I feel bad because I got my 2-year-old niece sick too. But anyways, I'm feeling good enough to update this vlog now. And I have finished Dark Corners by Megan Golden, and I'm a little disappointed. I gave this one 3 stars. I was a little bit worried when I heard that Megan Miranda was putting out a book this year, because if you've been around here for any number of videos, you might remember that I hated Stay Awake. Hated it. But I loved The Night Swim and I loved The Escape Room, so I was really nervous about this until I found out that it follows the same kind of world and characters as The Night Swim. And I was like, oh, perfect, I'll love it. I loved The Night Swim. But this just felt very different from The Night Swim. It felt like your average detective mystery with like an armchair expert trying to solve the case. I mean, she is a podcaster, but she doesn't have like any official training. And also it has a trope in it that I don't usually like, and that is like too many pop culture references and fame. Whenever there's like famous people or celebrities, I usually don't like that trope. I usually find it like annoying, and there's a lot of influencers in this, and the book made influencers out to be these like flighty, hoity-toity, like just that they're all in it for the money and the fame, and which I mean might be true to an extent, but I don't know. I don't like to assume that of people. I like to assume that people are just sharing their knowledge and wanting to get paid for it like as well as a bonus. I don't know. Maybe I'm way off on that, but I just feel like the way that this book portrayed influencers was like just not great. But basically this is about, and honestly, I was kind of confused on what it was about and how it came to be and how Rachel, the main character, kind of got pulled into all of it. Basically, you have this case where there's these girls that have gone missing, and they think that they caught the serial killer and put him in jail, and he's about to be released because they weren't able to nab him on all of the deaths, only a couple. And so he's about to be released, and Rachel's name comes up when he has a visitor. And so the FBI has Rachel come down to interview him to try and figure out, I don't know, get him to confess. I don't really know. It just didn't work for me. There seemed to be a lot of plot holes, and yeah, I mean, I gave it 3 because I like Megan Golden and I read it pretty quickly, but yeah, I mean, I definitely would prefer Like if somebody asked me what Megan Miranda, I've said that like 14 times, Megan Golden. If somebody asked me which Megan Golden to pick up, I would say The Night Swim, hands down, followed by The Escape Room. And you could probably pass on this, but definitely pass on Stay Awake. Okay, and then the last book that I'm gonna read for this vlog is holding up my phone currently. Why did I do that? Okay. We're gonna start this one. This is just so dense with information, and it's 370 pages. I've already read 17 pages of this, and then I had to put it down for other things, but I'll probably just go back and start from the beginning because that was like months ago. But so far the first 17 pages have just been like the history of psychiatry and the history of psych hospitals and how psychology came to be a science and stuff. So yeah, we shall see. I'm hoping that it becomes less dense and more like stories, but who knows? Okay, hi, hello. It has been multiple days. I am dog sitting and house sitting this weekend. The dogs are outside, so I have a couple minutes of peace and quiet, and I wanted to update you because I am halfway through The Great Pretender by Susanna. I don't know if her last name is Cahalan or Kahlin. I'm gonna have to look it up and see how it's pronounced, but I keep saying Callahan, and then I'm like, no, it's not right. And then I'll say it to other people, and they're like, don't you mean Callahan? I'm like, no, it's Cahalan or Cahalan. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up. But the beginning part of this was kind of hard to get through because it was like history of psychology in America and history of mental health. But then it gets into, so this woman, Susanna, she is basically like retelling, and she basically researched and compiled all of these like letters and journals and stuff from this psychologist in the 70s who convinced people, including he also did it himself, to commit themselves to mental institutions or asylums in America in order to kind of understand like what does it mean to be quote unquote sane versus quote unquote insane, you know, the words they used, and you know, what does it look like to have a diagnosis in the 70s, and what is the high rate of misdiagnoses, and what are the practices truly like, because, you know, as soon as you know, advocates and people and politicians say, oh, we're going to, you know, this asylum, all of a sudden it's, you know, clean and everybody's well dressed and everybody's nice and all the patients are happy. So he wanted to get like a really good look, and the only way to do that was to be a patient himself. So she basically did a lot of research and was able to find some of the pseudo patients through some sleuthing, even though their names were kept really secret in the experiment and in the paperwork and the reports and the essays that were written afterwards and the articles. And so I just got through a lot of that, like learning about the first experiment, and now I'm learning about the second experiment and all of the pseudo patients and what their real identities are and things like that. And this is a really important experiment in mental health history because it really broke open the malpractice that was being done at asylums in America, and just all of the horrible things and horrible practices that were going on, as well as just looking at, you know, like psychiatrists and therapists being held accountable for the diagnoses. You know, you have a person who commits themselves for 9 days, you know, as an experiment, and they come out with this whole list of diagnoses, but nowhere on the report does it say what the symptoms are that they show of those diagnoses. So it's like, so it brings up a lot of discussion about like labeling language and labeling theory and things like that. So it's really interesting. I don't know who I would recommend this to though, because it is very dense. It's very science dense, it's very history dense, it's very data dense. So stuff that I enjoy, but like the average person probably wouldn't. I'm kind of surprised that this was a book of the month, to be honest, because it's definitely a niche type of nonfiction, I would imagine. But I don't know. I'm enjoying it, and I'm glad it was a book of the month. I've never heard anybody else talk about it, so it's from 2019, but I don't imagine it was a very popular book of the month. But I'm enjoying it nonetheless. So I'm going to continue reading this. Tomorrow is the last day. My arm's getting tired. I'm on this nice reclining couch. So tomorrow's the last day, and I know Krista and Amy will be doing another round of sprints. That's a weird shadow, but I don't know. I don't know how to avoid that. These are all bad angles. But yeah, so tomorrow's the last day of the readathon, and hopefully I can finish this book before then. Okay, so it's been a couple days since the readathon ended. Life has been crazy. I participated in the 24-hour reading retreat that I signed up for with Krista. She was there, and Amy, and so many other creators and readers, and it was just such a fun time. And then I was dog sitting, you saw all that. But then this week, life just happened, you know? Life just happened. It's been a long, pretty rough week. But we are gonna do something fun today. So we are going to wrap up my reading for this week, but we're going to do my wrap up by making the sundae that I built through my reading. I thought it would be fun. So for my container, I am just using a dish, and this was for a hyped book. And for that, I am counting She Started It by Sean Gilbert, because this was very hyped. I saw a lot of people getting this in June as their book of the month. And it was just super, super hyped, and I felt like I was seeing it everywhere. So that's what I read this one for. You saw I didn't really enjoy it. I gave it 2 stars. I think I already wrapped this one up. So that was my dish. And then for my ice cream, I chose Twist, and that's for a new to you author. And either of these could count, because I had never read anything by Susanna Cahalan, and I had never read anything by Sean Gilbert. So, and I mean, technically I could have done all 3. That's kind of why I have Chocolate and Vanilla, which is a twist, because Vanilla is a debut author, Sean Gilbert, and Chocolate is a repeat author, Megan Golden. So really, vanilla, chocolate, or twist. So I have vanilla and chocolate as my twist. So I feel like all 3 of those count. So, and then as far as scoops go, the number of scoops, I'm gonna do 2 scoops because I did 2 activity prompts. So the activity prompts I did was I featured a book of the month book on Instagram, and I participated in reading sprints. So I get 2 scoops in my sundae. So, okay, let's hope I don't like really embarrass myself. Also, just side note, these things are not left-handed person friendly, because like the little thing that goes around is over here, so it's like hard to scoop, and this thing that you push is over here, so it like gets in the ice cream, so it should be done this way, but I don't know how to do things with my right hand. So let's see how this works. Oh yeah, there's 1 scoop, and I guess we're going back this way. There is 2 scoops. Beautiful. All right, so I have my 2 scoops for my sundae. Let's just set that down there. Okay, now for sauce. I have hot fudge for a dark cover. Both of these are dark covers. And this is actually microwavable hot fudge, so hopefully it worked out. It said to just put it in for 30 seconds. So let's see if it worked. Oh yeah, it kind of worked. It's not super runny, but I don't really know what it's supposed to look like. Is it warm? It's barely warm. But anyways, I do have my hot fudge. Okay. And then for light cover, I have caramel. I'm counting this as a light cover. Also because I just love caramel sauce, and I wanted a reason to be able to put it on my sundae. It's looking good. And then for my topping, I'm going with fruit, and I have strawberries here, and that is for out of your comfort zone. And this was definitely out of my comfort zone. I do enjoy reading psychology, but this was very long, very dense, and this could have been a book that I read in my abnormal psychology class or my deviant behavior class in college for like sociology and for psych. It was a lot. It was a lot. I definitely felt like I was reading a textbook. But I don't think I've wrapped this up with you anyway. I ended up giving this 3 stars. I learned a lot, but it was so dense and there was so many numbers and theories and quotes, and there was just so much. I felt overwhelmed. And I found my eyes just kind of like glazing over sometimes because I felt like I wasn't understanding it. So I was just like, well, I'm not getting this part. But I did learn a lot. It definitely opened my eyes to some things about behavioral health that I didn't realize were happening even as late as the 1970s. But this definitely, as it always does when I read books about asylums, lights a fire under me to continue to be trauma informed and to help others work towards trauma informed care, because we see where we've been and we definitely don't want to go back there. And seeing the state of things today, we still have a long way to go. So I am going to give this 3 stars. I don't know who I'd recommend this to though, because it's so dense. Like it's kind of a niche thing. You really have to be interested in asylums and in experiments to really connect with this one. But also the author at some points was like putting in like almost her own opinions, I felt like. And I don't know, I understand that it's impossible to be totally unbiased, but you know, like she was talking about something and then she started talking about like her and her therapist. And I was like, wait a minute, we're talking about this experiment in the 70s. We're not talking about your therapist. So I don't know, but I did give it 3 stars. I am happy that I read it. And I do have another Susanna Cahalan book on my shelf, Brain on Fire, which I know I know that book is much more popular than this one. I've actually heard Brain on Fire talked about. So I'm still excited to read that one. So that's that wrap up. And that is for, once again, if we forgot, I already did. Oh, out of your comfort zone for my fruit topping. All right, gorgeous strawberries. And that will complete our sundae. That's all I did. I didn't even bother doing the thriller one because I'm allergic to peanuts, so we're not gonna do that. And I was hoping to do one more, but oh well. And I guess if I had wanted to, oh yeah, I didn't even realize this had a red logo, so I could have done a cherry on top too, but I didn't think about it when I was at the store. So there is our sundae. Before I eat it, I'm going to take a nice little Instagram picture and then I am going to devour this. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Krista and Amy for hosting this readathon. It was very fun. And now I have no more unread book of the month on my shelf until next week when Book of the Month posts their August selections. But we're not going to focus on that. We're just going to focus on right now. I have no unread book of the month in my house. So thank you so much for watching. Comment down below and let me know if you read any book of the month books this month. Please hit that subscribe button. It really helps out my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.